The first step in acceptance is just realizing that they're going to remake all of your favorite films. What's up, everybody? Back today with my review for RoboCop 2014, the remake of the much beloved 1987 film by Paul Verhoeven. And if you're not familiar with RoboCop, the premise is pretty simple. It's the Detroit cop. You know, he's a great cop, and he almost gets killed in the line of duty. And then in comes this evil corporation called Omnicorp, and they basically reconstruct him as a robot cop cyborg thing, and he enforces justice on the streets of Detroit. And of course, things go wrong, and it makes for a damn good 80s cult classic. How's the new one? To tell you the truth, I liked it more than probably a lot of people. I haven't watched any reviews. I heard some people were liking it. I've seen some negative things already. But yeah, I kind of liked it. There's some problems. I'll get into that in a minute. But first of all, let's say the good things. You know, Jose Padilla, I haven't seen any of his other films. I heard they're good action movies. And I really liked some of the stuff he tried to do with this movie. Of course, he wasn't able to make a rated R movie like the original RoboCop is extremely violent. This one, of course, had to be PG-13 to probably get the budget. So, you know, already he knew he couldn't make quite as violent of a movie, so I think he got some good actors, and some of them did their jobs, some of them not so well. Joel Kinnaman, I thought he did a great job as RoboCop. You know, the emotions needed to convey the character. He seems like a pretty damn good actor. Gary Oldman, in my opinion, really saved this film. Every scene he was in with RoboCop, I enjoyed. I just enjoyed Gary Oldman's character. He's kind of like the doctor that's brought in to, you know, help put together RoboCop, and, you know, at first he hesitantly does it, and he kind of gets drawn deeper into it, and he's doing stuff he doesn't really want to do. And I just liked his character, and there's one great scene. There's a few good scenes with Gary Oldman, especially with Michael Keaton, who plays the head of the corporation, and he's kind of like, in the original RoboCop, the guys were all just like 80s jerks, literally like cokeheads. In this one, he's more like Steve Jobs, and Michael Keaton plays this kind of like good guy. So the corporation doesn't seem as evil in this one, basically, and but they are evil. And he convinces Gary Oldman to do all this stuff. And that was really the best part of the movie. The action sequences, I found them pretty interesting. Of course, not as violent as the original movie. And they're basically pretty much the same things as the original movie. There's one where he goes into like a drug house and stuff like that. But I thought he tried to get a little creative with some of the action scenes. The ending's different of the film. And I don't know. I think overall, Jose Padilla, I want to see more of his work, definitely. So that's a good thing. The thing I wanted to say was, to compare it to the Paul Verhoeven film, it just felt like Paul Verhoeven accomplished all the same things that they accomplished in this film. At the same time, you know, he made this cult classic. But overall, I think he just paints these huge, broad strokes that were more comical, more satirical. And the Jose Padilla version is just basically more straightforward, not as satirical. Like I said, the corporation wasn't quite as evil, and they kind of focused a little more on the dehumanizing part of RoboCop, which I really liked. That was the thing I liked about the original. I don't know, it's just Padilla tried to get into the details, and I think that's where he found the devil. That's where the film doesn't work. And then, you know, I've heard there was some problems with the production. I don't like to read too much because I don't want to bias my opinion of the movie. But you could tell the movie, there's some like fluidity problems there, definitely. The soundtrack, not so great, and then they kind of shoehorn Samuel Jackson in. And I thought his character, I'm kind of on the fence about those scenes. They felt more like the old film, which felt out of tone with this movie, if you understand what I'm saying with that. Yeah, I'm on the fence about Sam Jackson's characters. You can comment below about that. But the rest of the characters, the surrounding cast, I pretty much liked it. Michael K. Williams plays his partner, basically taking the place of Nancy Allen. And, you know, he's one of the characters from The Wire. He's a great actor. Not in it as much as he could have been. And another guy who's in this that has a pretty good role, he kind of plays a baddie, is Jackie Earle Haley. He's kind of like the security head of the company. And so, you know, him, Oldman, Michael Keaton did a pretty good job. Kinnaman, I thought, did a great RoboCop, actually. I was watching my first review, and I was saying he wouldn't have the voice for it and all that. Of course, they put his voice through changer, but he really conveyed, like, the spaciness of it. And this one, like I said, they go more into, like, how they control RoboCop in this movie, basically. And I liked all that. The parts with him and Gary Oldman, I thought, were strong. Some of the parts connecting those weren't so great. I kind of liked the last couple action sequences. I thought they were pretty cool. Like I said, the ending is different. Overall, not as strong as the original film. One more pet peeve about this one. In the original film, before he becomes RoboCop, the way he's, you know, damaged is they shoot him up. In this one, they basically blow him up, and that's not any spoilers because they showed it in the trailer. So it's kind of topical because it's an IED, which, so I'll write it off, you know, that it's topical, and of course it looks a lot less violent than the original movie. But the problem that bugged me about that scene is because they show him working it out in his head when he starts, you know, trying to solve his own murder. And no glass was shattered in that house when that car blew up. There's a street light post that wasn't blown up. None of the glass on the house was blown up. The garage barely looked even dented. So I was like, and then on top of that, I was thinking, the biggest part about RoboCop is obviously they make it his brain, because that's the human part. And the IED is probably one of the worst type of injuries to take for, like, if you need a good brain, because from what I understand, the IED does a lot of damage, even if it doesn't do it to the physical, to the long-term damage to the brain, because of the shockwave. But whatever, that's just little pet peeves I had about them taking that route and got the job done. But like I said, I appreciate Jose Padilla's effort. I'm gonna give this one a 3.5 out of 5. Uh, I gave the original one a 4.5 out of 5. I think I'm gonna move that up to a 5 because the original, the more I think about it and I watch and compare it to this one, it really is like a cult masterpiece. All the messages you have to convey with the RoboCop plot, it seemed, oh, it's just a robot cop, but there's so much more to the original movie, and they tried to make so much more to this one, taking that alternate route. Paul Verhoeven made kind of like a goofy movie, but it's like actually masterful because he presents all the stuff that needs to be said about the climate of the world, dehumanizing of RoboCop as a human, corporate greed, all that. And it's really, when you compare the two films, it's really quite a masterpiece because he got all that across while making a funny, entertaining action piece. This one, they tried to get more into the details, and it came out a little clunkier. So I guess that's going to be it for my review. If you've seen the new RoboCop movie, comment below. What did you like about the new one, though? Let's keep it positive. There was a lot I liked. I liked when he was driving around on his motorcycle, and it was all dark, and you could just see the red and blue flashing. I thought that was cool. Like I said, there were some gems in this movie. That's why I want to see more of Jose Padilla's work. So I've gone on long enough. I'm going to edit this video down, and I'll see you guys soon with another review.